The recording and welcome to those who are joining us. My name is Lynn April. I am the Director of Education for Economic Development at CESA 8 in Gillett, Wisconsin. And we are hosting, along with CESA 7, the Ahnapee Youth Apprenticeship Consortium, UWGB, Northeast Wisconsin Technical College, and Inspire Northeast Wisconsin, these virtual job spotlights. And joining me today is Allison Bowie, who from NWTC, who is my cohort in this work and is going to be manning the chat. So our guests today are Nathan Wachtendonk, from the city of Green Bay. He's their fleet manager. Kathy Moss, who is Logistics Supply Account Director with Schneider, Aaron Van Zeeland, the Senior Vice President and GM of Logistics Services with Schneider, and Bill Morse, the Educational Field Manager for the Foundation of the Wisconsin Auto and Truck Dealers Association. Just a reminder that transportation is our focus for the month of December. So next week, again, from 10 to 11 o'clock, we will be taking a look at all the post-secondary options as far as education around transportation, distribution, and logistics. So if you are joining us today, please come back next week to learn about those options from NWTC. Just a reminder of our norms. This meeting is being recorded and will be broadcast through Inspire Northeast Wisconsin after the event. All students are muted and your video capabilities are turned off just to eliminate distractions. So please leave those that way. I will be sharing my screen, but you can also see our presenters on the side of the screen. So you'll be able to see their slides and see them as they're presenting. If you do leave the meeting, I will try to keep track of those who are trying to rejoin, but you may not get back in, just so you know. Please, please, please do engage with our speakers by asking questions in the chat. That's what they're here for. So as they talk about their jobs and how they got where they are today and what they do in a typical day, if you have any questions about that for them, please type those into the chat and Allison will be sharing those at the end of each speaker's presentation. And we definitely don't anticipate needing to do this, but we do have the ability to remove anyone from the meeting if they are becoming distracting. So just a question for those students and staff who have popped in with us today. I know we have quite a few who are going to be joining by watching the video afterwards, but just to get an idea of what you know about supply chain and logistics, since that is really a lot of our focus today. What do you think is the minimum amount of education needed to secure a position in logistics and supply chain? So if you would just in the chat type in, do you think you can do that with a diploma or a certificate? Can you do that with an associate degree, which is usually 2 years, a bachelor's degree, which is usually 4? You need a master's degree of 6 or 7 years, or even a professional degree beyond that. So what do you think is the minimum amount of education that you need to become a logistics specialist? And that, of course, is taken from Zello, which I'm sure students and staff are familiar with as they're doing their academic and career planning. And don't be shy about chatting in. We have one chat, but I think that happened beforehand. So we will move on, but you can definitely still put your answer into the chat. Our first speaker today is going to be talking to us about his position as fleet manager for the city of Green Bay, and that is Nathan Wachtendonk. So welcome, Nathan.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Thank you for taking time out of your day to meet with me today. Like Lynn said, my name is Nathan Wachtendonk. I'm the fleet manager for the city of Green Bay. I've been with the city for going on 9 years now. My journey started back in 1996. I was a freshman at Appalachian High School, trying to decide what to do with my life. My dad worked in the paper mill. He kept telling me through my younger years that walking off the street into a paper mill job, they're becoming dinosaurs and extinct. I'm just not going to walk in and find a high-paying job like he had. So I always liked working on cars. So through my high school days, took as many tech ed classes as I could, small engines, welding, fabrication. I even got a co-op with a local car dealership my senior year of high school. That's where I went to school part-time and worked part-time. I gained a lot of experience on the job. I worked with technicians, basically job shadowing. I thought it was great, making $6 an hour, shadowing some technicians, get some experience, basically getting paid to learn. Then after high school, I was going to go to the automotive field, and then I took a tour out at the local tech school, Fox Valley Tech, and I saw the diesel classes, and I'm seeing pistons and engine blocks on the ground. The pistons are the size of coffee cans. I thought this is great and fantastic. This is really what I want to do. So I enrolled in the diesel technology program. And that was a 2-year program. Fantastic education that I got. In fact, some of the my fellow classmates went on to be instructors at NWTC and other various tech schools. After tech school, next slide, I went to work for a local construction company working in the quarries and on their dump trucks. Their big crushing operations, their dump trucks, their core equipment, their front end loaders or bulldozers. That was a fantastic experience. Just all the equipment, the machinery that goes into crushing rock and the blasting with the dynamite and the various explosives was an eye-opening experience of how actually roads are made and how we can, get to get your gravel for your driveways and your decorative stone. Very good experience with a local company. These are just some pictures I pulled off the internet, not actually MCC itself, but some, you guys get the idea. Next slide. Then after MCC, I went to go work for construction company, Michaels Corporation. I was a field service technician. I traveled coast to coast and border to border. We built high lines. We chased the storms. The bottom left picture, that's after a hurricane. I was on 2 hurricanes through my career. We go into cities like New Orleans or Houston, Texas that are just devastated, no power whatsoever. We'd go in, we'd set the power back up. I was a technician for the equipment, the big bucket trucks, the 90-ton cranes, everything from a pickup truck to chainsaw, bulldozers for bulldozing the lines. Some of the digger derricks were setting the poles back up. It was a really rewarding career going out and just helping people put the lines up. This is one of the careers that if somebody likes to travel, doesn't mind working outside in rain, snow, sleet, hail. This is a great opportunity for you. It can make some excellent money. Some of the guys that I used to work with, they're making upwards of upper 6 figures for their salary. You can, if you don't like the power line industry, there's also careers going up to Alaska, the pipelines up into Canada, working on the equipment. There's rail rigs out in the Pacific. There's just endless careers of what you guys can have for if you start the technology, if you start your diesel program at various tech schools. Next slide. My current position, fleet manager for the city of Green Bay. I manage roughly 650 pieces of equipment, snow plows, garbage trucks, street sweepers, a back truck for cleaning sewers out. It is another really rewarding career working for the public. After I didn't know how much actually went into public works until I got this position. We do host a snowplow rodeo every year. We take the drivers from around the state and we set up an obstacle course, and they drive around and they get various points for different obstacles, almost running into parked cars, backing up. And the top 2 winners there actually go to the national rodeo out in Denver, Colorado. That is it's a Western Snow and Ice Conference from drivers from all over the United States and up into Canada. And that brings in the top people for snow plowing opportunities. American Public Works Association is an organization that I'm a part of. We're all the various cities, municipalities, and counties. We get together as far as leadership, sharing equipment, sharing roles, getting together and talking about various activities that we do, whether it's snow plowing, collecting garbage. I couldn't be where I was today without a education. Again, back when I was going through tech school, there was a few jobs. I'm actually very envious of the generation growing up now. There's just endless opportunities for you to come out in the technology field for diesel equipment, automotive. I sit at various boards for the tech colleges, and I keep getting the same everybody talks about the same thing as far as find qualified technicians. This is starting out in high school. You can go to various either car dealerships or truck dealerships. Some even construction companies, they'll take you on and they'll put you to work, whether it's sweeping the floors, help out shadowing technician. Then after you go to tech school, they'll actually pay for education. So you can actually work, make a decent living, and they'll pay for your education. You just work for them for a few years afterwards. And like I was talking about, the opportunities, it's just endless right now. We just need technicians, we need mechanics, we need people out in the shop working, drivers, driving your equipment, plow trucks, dump trucks. And I just can't express to you guys how much opportunities in front of you right now to get out and do these types of activities. There's just endless. And the biggest thing you could say is get your education. Start out, go to tech school, start talking to some of the teachers, get over the job shadowing. You guys can contact me. I'd invite anybody up to our shop. You can walk around, shadow what we do. You talk to some of the technicians, talk to me about about our various tasks throughout the day. And one thing I do throughout the day is I got 13 mechanics, and I do all the buildings and grounds as well, all the steam boilers, the HVAC systems, the windows, the doors, the brickwork, as well as I help out with the streets department, putting out potholes, plowing roads, snow equipment. We got big tub grinders that grind up all the yard waste that you guys put out every day. Next slide. This is my contact information if anybody wishes to contact me or has any questions or concerns about what I do or how I got to where I was today. But I can't say enough for going for the Wisconsin Tech Colleges. There's a lot of new facilities out there, technology. They're at the forefront of technology. It's just a great opportunity for you guys.
Great. That was so much fascinating information that I really have no background knowledge of at all. So you mentioned that, you've really had experiences in a lot of different areas. After you got done with your diesel tech program at Fox Valley, have you had to go back to do any programs or certifications as you've worked in some of these other areas?
I'm working on getting my CPFP, Certified Public Fleet Management certification. I did pursue some of the ASC certifications. I let those expire because my employer I was working for at the time didn't require those, but that is something fantastic. That is a great asset for you guys to do is your ASC certifications. I do have contacts with the tech colleges. I do work with them as far as bringing on project trucks. I drop off, old cylinders and old, axles, hydraulic pumps for them to use as props in their classes. We do donate equipment from time to time with them. And I also work with them setting up some classes for our techs to go back for refresher classes.
All right. Something that just occurred to me because I've always wondered, obviously you are getting stuff set up for the winter with all of your plows. How do you estimate what you're going to need as far as salt, for example? I know there was one year that many of the municipalities ran out. So how do you possibly guesstimate what you're going to need for something like that for a winter?
It's a guess. Each year we got a budgeted amount for our salt, and we pre-order that the year before. And judging on how the snowfall is, we'll just use it sparingly at the beginning of the year, and hopefully we won't run out. There's no exact science except for just luck of the draw, how the winter is going to play out.
Mm-hmm. Allison, do you have questions either through the chat or ones that you've come up with?
I don't see any in the chat, so just a friendly reminder that if there are any questions, to put them there. My question was, so what does a day, I don't even know if I should say a day look like for you, or a week?
Well, my days and weeks are pretty much the same. Every day we start out, I got a list of equipment that needs to be repaired, assign the technicians that list of those pieces of equipment. Things break down. It's just constant maintenance, guys. You'll hit a plow with a plow, with a manhole, hydraulic leaks on some of our plow trucks and garbage trucks. And those garbage trucks, there's so much maintenance on those with all the moving arms, especially the automated with the cylinders that go in and out, the rollers, hydraulic fittings, hydraulic hoses. You're bound and determined to blow one of those every once in a while. So there's always an unknown. You can have the best plan laid out, but it's always going to change on you.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you so much for that information, Nathan. And we will move on to our second speaker, and that is Kathy, who is the Logistics Supply Account Director with Schneider. So Kathy.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us and allowing me to present my career progression and a little bit about Schneider. So again, my name is Kathy Moss. I'm an account director at Schneider in our logistics and supply chain management division of Schneider. And basically, I've been with Schneider just shy of 19 years. Schneider's really the type of company that you can be hired on right out of school, and we see a lot of retirements. So we aim to hire to retire. So I've been there for 19 years, and I've really had a pretty great progression over the course of the last several years. At Schneider, we help our customers move freight or cargo from one point to another. Sometimes they're on orange trucks, and in logistics, sometimes they're on other colored trucks, and sometimes they're not even in trucks at all. It could be ocean containers or air freight, but it's the service that we offer to our customers moving their freight. And how did I decide on transportation and logistics? Well, for me, it was really the luck of the draw. I went to school for international business, and it was a local company that had potential international work that I would have the opportunity to work on. Other companies I was interviewing with did not have that international capability. So naturally, I wanted to try to utilize my degree as much as possible, and found out pretty quickly that logistics is pretty great. And I love the transportation industry, and it fits really well with my background. In terms of my education, I did go to St. Norbert for a 4-year degree program, and my major was international business, and I have a double minor in Spanish and economics. I think economics has been really important because there are a lot of, the transportation industry, is judged by a lot of different analysts, and it's really great to be able to understand what the analysts are saying about the industry and what rates are doing and what's just overly happening throughout the transportation industry. So economics is always something great. A business degree is very helpful. And if there are any transportation related classes, supply chain related classes, those would also be very helpful to somebody interested in pursuing a logistics career. In terms of my career path or my progression, it's not always really been a straight line up. My first role, I started out on our rates team. It was a very basic role. It wasn't terribly exciting, but it was a really great way to learn the basics of transportation and logistics. I showed up every day. I did the best I could to go above and beyond and take on more responsibility. And it had nothing to do with international. But because I took on the initiative and really tried to learn as much as I could, very shortly after I started, I had the opportunity to move into a role that dealt with international freight. And I participated in helping a customer book freight on international vessels, and it was project cargo. I audited invoices and things like that. And throughout my career path, I've had the opportunity to do some international freight in various different areas, but certainly not the entire career path. I think the longest amount of time I spent was about 7 years. I was a purchasing manager And that's basically where I had an account or multiple accounts that I worked with their buying team or their purchasing team to secure capacity. So basically, I hired a Schneider and I hired other companies to move the freight that my customers needed to move from point to point. And in that role, I really learned the importance of communication, of knowing, trying to know what's going to happen in the future so that you can solve for the future problems today. And a lot of logistics is trying to plan for the future and make sure that you have really good processes in place to ensure that issues don't happen along the way, and that you do things as efficiently and effectively as possible. As you can kind of see on the slide here, you can see that I'm not always moving. Actually, it's not a straight line up. I started out kind of at the lowest level, at an entry level, and then I moved up, and then I stayed kind of at that same level, had multiple jobs at the same level before I moved up again. And then I maybe had to take a step back before taking another step forward. And when you work for a company as large as Schneider, there are many different opportunities to learn about various different areas of the company. So it's not like you're stuck in one spot and you have to stay there your entire career within the company. They really encourage you to try different things and really add tools, put tools into your toolkit to be able to use them later in life. So in my current role, I am responsible for managing the work my team does, and ensuring that that the team that we're doing it in a profitable manner. So if costs are going up, I need to find a way to increase the revenue we're getting from our customers. If for some reason we can't get that increase in revenue, then I need to look for ways to decrease our costs, but still maintain that service level to the customer. If needed, I need to mobilize other teams within Schneider to help support the customer and make sure that Schneider is meeting our expectations. But basically, at the end of the day, I try to manage my portfolio of customers as if I were the owner of the company. Because obviously, if I'm spending my own money, I'm going to be as careful as possible in spending it on the right things and not spending it just to spend the money. Also, things that I do in a director role, even in management roles, there are lots and lots and lots of meetings. It could be internally with your team or other teams within the organization, but then meetings with customers as well. As a business in the service industry, coordinating communication, that happens every single day to be sure that businesses run properly. And when it doesn't, we need to seek to understand why and how do we avoid that same issue from happening in the future. So we do a lot of root cause analysis. If a shipment or a process is flawed, we try to seek out what is causing this issue and what is the way to fix it for the future. A lot of the job that I do is very commercial in nature. It's very forward-looking and strategic. So how is my customer looking at the future and what changes are happening? Maybe are they merging or acquiring another company, or maybe divesting a portion of their business? And how can we help them be prepared for that? If we are using more resources than we originally planned, how do we increase revenue with them? And then what my team focuses on really are continuous improvements. So how do we help our customer continuously improve their processes and obtain cost savings. We work on day-to-day shipment issues and any gaps in communication. In terms of advice for students, in logistics and with most industries, communication is incredibly important, whether it be written or verbal, conversational or formal presentations. I really encourage you to hone your communication ability and be willing to ask questions. And what is your ability to influence others to do things, to take action? Another item would be to be open to continuous improvement, continuous learning and development. If you don't take the initiative, your employer might not do it for you. So you need to take it upon yourself to continuously learn, read trade publications, listen to podcasts, be in the know. Couple of other things, be willing to work or do work that may seem below you or not your job, as it may lead to opportunities for you to work above you and test your abilities to grow. So just because you feel it might be below the work you're doing now, it might gain some trust with your leadership to give you the opportunity to work on harder things. And be collaborative, work with others, communicate well, seek input and advice, and then give that same back. And then last but not least, make sure you're choosing the right company. What is their culture? Do I see myself fitting in with the way that they operate and do business? How long have people been there? I mean, clearly people aren't going to stay in the company for 19 years if they really don't believe in the company itself. But that's basically what I have to share today. Any questions?
Great, thank you, Kathy. That was really interesting. Talking about your job as an account manager, do you find with your accounts that you have like a regular schedule of freight movement for a particular customer every month, say, or does it really vary widely from month to month?
I think it really depends upon the customer and the type of industry they're in. We have some customers, for example, automotive, that are very, very scheduled. Everything is static from week to week, month to month, because you're constantly feeding the manufacturing, or you're constantly feeding the dealerships with their parts and things like that. And then you have other things like the medical industry, where all of a sudden everything just takes off like crazy. So it really depends upon the industry. Some can be very dynamic, and you have to be prepared and looking ahead to see what might happen. And some might be very static in nature. And a customer may vary between those two as well.
Great. Allison, do we have a question in the chat?
There are no questions in the chat at this moment. No.
I have one to ask.
I think I'm going to wait because maybe Kathy can come back with Aaron. I want to see if Aaron answers my question.
And that is a great segue to our next speaker. So thank you, Kathy. And also with Schneider, we have Erin Van Zeelen, who is the Senior Vice President, excuse me, and GM of Logistics Services. And she was also recently the recipient of Supply Chain and Demand Chain Executives' first ever Women in Supply Chain Award. So welcome, Erin.
Thank you, Lynn and Allison, and let's see if I answer the question that you're going to pose. First of all, I'd like to thank you, Lynn and Allison, for putting this together. I just think that this is a terrific opportunity for our students to get an idea of what kinds of careers exist out there. And so as we were preparing, and since Kathy and I realized we got a twofer on this agenda, I wanted to take you through how I'm going to spend my 10 minutes in this space. This is kind of where I'm going to camp out for about 5 minutes, kind of answering and talking about some of these perspectives that are on the slide in front of you. And then I'm going to take the next 5 minutes, kind of taking you into what is logistics and supply chain, so that you can understand, do some of the work and or some of the aspects of the problems that we work to solve sound like they could be something that you might be interested in. And I'm not sure that maybe everybody who is just exploring in this space really understands kind of what logistics or supply chain is or all about. So that's how I'm going to spend my time. First of all, I can tell you I know exactly where you're at. So I have 2 kids, and one of them is a sophomore. Paige is a sophomore over at the University of Minnesota. So we were going through this process with her a couple of years ago. And my son, Jack, is a senior here at Wrightstown. And so he's right in the middle of it as well. And I just think opportunities like this are fantastic. And for all of you that are listening to it or will listen to it in a recorded piece, what you're doing right now is just so critical. The world is big. There's all kinds of really cool things that you can do. And it's really important that you explore, you ask lots of questions, talk to people that are in those roles, and then get an idea where your fit may fit in terms of the work and or the culture. So if I just kind of go through a couple of these things, who am I? Erin Van Zeelen. I've been with Schneider. So Kathy has been with Schneider for a long time. I have almost a decade on her. So I'm 27 years now with Schneider. I live here in Wrightstown. I lead our logistics service offering. Schneider in total is a $5 billion revenue organization at this time, and we've been in business for over 80 years. We're the largest employer in Green Bay, so everybody around here knows who Schneider is. But when I came to Schneider, and I guess in that whole picture, I'm accountable for the logistics segment of that business. So logistics makes up about $1 billion of a $5 billion business. And we're going to talk more about what we do in that segment a little bit later. How did I get here? I am from Pennsylvania. I went to Penn State. And when I did an internship at Penn State, it was with Hershey. And so I really believed that I was going to go work for Hershey. When I was done with college, obviously it's more close to home and all those types of things. Schneider came on campus and went through some resumes, and they asked about a dozen people based on their resumes that were sitting up at the hub to come in and interview with them. And I didn't know anything about logistics or transportation or trucking. So I really took the interview as interview practice, quite frankly. And before I went into the interview, I got to go to an information session, and one of the leaders started to introduce us to what happens in over-the-road transportation. What does a professional driver do? And what could you do in really making those people's lives better, helping them make money when they're over the road and get home, and obviously making sure that the price of Cheerios on the shelf is at a reasonable price so people can go and afford that because you have efficient supply chains. So I got to Schneider not the typical way. I started out in Harrisburg in the terminal there, and I was managing drivers and about 40 drivers. And what Schneider does with people that are in those roles is we actually get to go out over the road for a week every year and get to experience what truck driving is about from the driver's point of view. Clearly they don't let us drive, but we're in the jump seat and we're getting an idea of what does it look like to get into some of these locations, to go down the road with the motoring public, all of those types of items. And I really enjoyed that, and I learned a ton in that space. But then I got a call and I got asked to come up to Green Bay for a role where I was going to train people like me. So we have these terminals all over the country, and my job was to train other service team leaders. I came here, I got a picture of what corporate was all about, and I literally fell in love. So I met my husband here, and I also fell in love with the business and what we were getting done. And so I never went back to Pennsylvania, and I've gotten an opportunity to do all kinds of different things here at Schneider. So I led a terminal, the one that was on Broadway here in Green Bay. It had 500 drivers in it at one point. I got to be the salesperson associated with our largest account, which is Walmart. And so I got to help import their business, create dedicated configurations where we were their fleet. I got to run their largest promotion. So Black Friday we just passed, which is right after Thanksgiving. And if you think about it, a normal supply chain may have 10 loads a day of Huffy bikes going out of a location in Indiana throughout the year, but you're ready to hit a Black Friday. And instead of 10 loads a day, that's 200 loads a day because they're trying to make those promotions. And so really designing supply chains and then executing them so that when we want to go purchase something, it's there is really what I got to do in that kind of capacity. And obviously Walmart is the biggest company in the world. So it was a wild ride in terms of understanding what a company like Schneider could do that creates tremendous value for some of the largest Fortune 500 companies in the world, and really helping make their business better by what we can do in bringing our tools, technology, and people to that.
Aaron, I don't want to interrupt you, but there is a little background noise, like a fan or something over your speaker. So if it was something you could fix, I wanted to let you know. Otherwise, we'll just keep going.
Oh, I don't hear it here, so I'm not sure. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
I guess I can, in terms of just going a little bit closer to the computer, maybe that helps. What I would say in terms of if you are looking at and considering pursuing a role, and obviously as you go into college, something associated with business or leadership or even supply chain logistics, I thought Kathy did just a phenomenal job around what is really going to be important in those considerations. I would say from my career, all the different roles and capacity that I have gotten to play in, I've been in IT, I've led human resources, led logistics, lots of different areas. In all cases, I actually didn't pursue any of the roles. So one of the things that I think is really important is decide who you want to work for and the kinds of opportunities that they have. Because the most precious resource that a business has really is their people. And so how well do they do in developing people, doing succession planning of people, making sure that they have a lot of experiences so that they can go on and take on broader and deeper accountabilities for the organization overall. And so I guess my biggest point of advice is don't shut anything down. So get into an organization or a company that you know the people, you like the culture, you watch how they work, and then get to determine who you can trust, who could be your mentor, who can maybe see things in you that you don't see yourself. And that was certainly the experience for me. I did not, I was concerned in going into sales. I was concerned or fearing going into tech because of all the things I didn't know about it. And what really came to be is that a lot of these skill sets that we have are very transferable in different work and different roles that we can do. And so if you have an organization that's really committed to hiring great people, developing them, seeing that capability, shepherding it and building into it, and then they want to move you to this location or this role or this thing, I'd say maybe get over your fear of what you don't know and what you maybe don't know if you like, and give it a shot, give it a try, because the more that you can see the business problem and or the leadership opportunity from different angles, the better prepared you'll be over your career to be able to manage, lead, and grow a business, because you've just definitely had a different way to look at it. I'm going to have you go to the next one. The reason I love what I get to do is this. So here's a picture of our team in Chicago. And so we have about 275 people in Chicago. I'd say 90% of them are fresh grads out of college from all different colleges. And what we are training them to do is to work with shippers to determine what demand or what needs do they have in transportation and logistics, and make sure that we, Schneider, are the ones who can solve that for them and move their freight. So I guess the macro problem is that there are 1.2 million shippers in North America, and there's 200,000 carriers. And so how do you bring that demand and that capacity together? It's first through great people, and great people being able to have that communication and work through. And so this is what I love what I get to do. Lynn, if you can just take me to the next slide, let me give you an idea of, let's go past Schneider. I think let's go to what is supply chain, the next one. So Many of you might be hoping that you're going to get an iPhone or an Xbox or something for the holidays this year. What we're really solving for is or some people definitely are hoping that the vaccine is coming very quickly. All of this is supply chain. So where are we going to start to get the raw materials to manufacture whatever the good is that's going to get sold in the store? A lot of it's coming internationally. So how do we think about which ship, which port, all of those types of things that it's going to? And then really you think about the order fulfillment. Somebody is making an order of the Xbox showing up in Best Buy for this amount of capacity that they're anticipating, or customers that they're anticipating are going to show up at their retail store and go and buy that. And some of us are going to get Xboxes that that don't work or we don't like. And so they have to go back, and then there's this whole reverse logistics piece that fits in here. But this is really what we're doing, and what Kathy and I could tell you is every day is totally different. And our job is to get inside these companies, see what they're trying to do, and help them save money, get their product to market, and help them be really efficient in what they're trying to accomplish. If you look at the next slide, Lynn, this is unfortunately what some of our customers may look like, because if you are a customer of a transportation or logistics company, you usually are, you can do one more click. You usually are the 1 or 2 person at the company that's accountable to get the product on the shelf. Everybody else is invested in making the product, making the Xbox, making it cool, making sure that it has the functionality. There's a fraction of the people at our customers that are in transportation and supply. They usually don't have the full talent base in their group. They usually don't have the technology. Everybody wants something from them. And our job is to make that guy a hero. And that's what we do with our people, process, and technology. Okay. I'm just going to leave us on this slide. This is at the end of the day, what is logistics and supply chain about? It's about our customers want to have the right product at the right place at the right time, right condition, lowest cost. And as soon as we do that, we need to do it again, only better. And that's what this is all about. I'd say it's incredibly dynamic. It's really exciting. We love the tech that's engaged in all the engineering, and we would highly recommend a career in transportation and logistics.
Awesome, thank you. And I'll let Allison see if there are questions. I just have a question. Both you and Kathy mentioned culture. And we also at CESA really understand how important it is. So as a new employee going, even looking for a job, what are some ways that a student or as they are graduating, as they're looking at companies, what are ways that they might be able to find out about the culture of a company? Investigate that beforehand.
So Kathy, I'll start. If you have something else to add to it, definitely do that. I think one of the things with social media that's just absolutely fantastic is there's a lot of transparency around, one, what does a company do? But who are the people? What's the feel? Whether you're on Instagram, and you're looking at Schneider Careers, follow the companies that you may be interested in and follow them so that you get feeds across to, whether it's Twitter or Instagram or whatever. Follow and become a student of the companies that do the kinds of things that you think you would want to do, whether it's in accounting or whether it's in transportation or healthcare. There's a lot of work that you can do, and it can get fed to you pretty naturally just using the internet and utilizing social media. But we do a pretty nice job in the environments that we have associates to really being part of the environment, whether it's in how we volunteer, how we do all those types of things so that we can connect with our future associates. And so ask us questions, get to know a friend at Schneider, get to know a friend at the other companies, and follow them on social media and get a feel for what it's about. And there's glass ceiling, there's all kinds of things. Read the bad reviews and the good reviews, and then just determine what you really think is there, and then talk to people.
I think, Erin, you hit that pretty well. So I will leave it at that.
Great. All right. Thank you both so much. And we will move on to our last speaker, Bill Morse, who is the Educational Field Manager for the Foundation of Wisconsin Auto Truck and Truck Dealers Association. There we go. And he's going to be talking to us about that organization and some of their opportunities. And first, Bill has a video. Do you have anything you want to introduce before the video, Bill?
Yeah, sure. I'll just introduce myself. As Lynn said, my name is Bill Morse, and I actually work for the foundation, which is a branch of the Wisconsin Auto and Truck Dealers Association. And what we do is one of our biggest things that we do, a big part of our mission, is to help young people get into careers in the auto service and truck service industry. And then I'll be talking a lot more about that after this short little video. This video is going to give you a little flavor of what it's like to work in the auto and truck service industry.
All right, I'm going to shut my video off.
Hi, my name is Kathleen Mahoney, and I received a scholarship upon completion of the pre-employment program through the Automotive Service Technician program.
Well, actually, we've got a call coming through now, so I'll take this one, and you can just watch how I handle it, and then I'll get you to do one yourself. All right? Yep.
The car business is not just a way to make a good living. It's a decent way to create a good life.
After I graduate, I plan on getting a job at one of the local dealerships, whether it be Cummins, Peterbilt, Mack. The possibilities are endless.
Career options after graduation vary widely. You can become an automotive technician, being a service advisor, talking to the customers, taking information.
I like to get out, work with your hands, take something that's damaged and see an end result when you're done. And hey, I fixed that. It's a fun and exciting program with a good future. You want to try to take it straight down, don't put the bottom in first, remember?
I would say it is changing my future. It's going to be easier to get jobs in the future, even if it's not in my degree.
Are you into working with cars, trucks, computers, people? Well, there's a place in Wisconsin's transportation industries for you.
The Automotive Maintenance Technician Technical Certificate provides an introduction to essential automotive servicing techniques, including the testing, repairing, and rebuilding of basic automotive systems.
They have morning and evening, and I mean, it doesn't get too much better than that, especially for the hour requirements that you need to get the coursework done.
It's not more of banging around. It's more, you have to be incredibly bright now to fix these cars. You know, this is where first impressions are made. So as the customer comes in, we'll actually greet the customer, ask them what type of vehicle they're looking for, and we provide them with professional courteous service. We answer all their questions that they may have about a particular vehicle of interest. And then ultimately, we help them select a vehicle based on their wants and their needs.
Here are some really cool facts about Wisconsin's transportation industry. How do you get started? Wisconsin's technical colleges are a great place to begin. You've seen a couple of them. Let's take a look at a couple more.
The college will prepare them for any aspect in the automotive field. We want people in this field that like to learn. The olden days of just turning wrenches is kind of gone. You have to know how to operate computer systems and work on the computer systems, because everything's computer-based. The students need to be prepared for what's in the future, and we have that right now. Because technical college are prepared, and we understand what the students are going to need. The instructors here, we actually have the real-life experience. It's easy to teach the students what they need to know when they get out.
We can work on any type of vehicles. We've got trucks, we've got cars, we've got newer vehicles, we have older vehicles. So you're not just on one type of car. Follow your dreams. I had a lot of people discouraging me being a female trying to get into this field, but so far I've loved it. I don't let people put me down. I'm going to be proud. getting in the trucks, taking out the power dividers, you have taking out the transmissions. That's really hands-on and you really get to know how to do it. In this program, you actually take it out of the truck, fix it, do whatever you have to do and put it back in.
Engines are an important part of the system here, but we have so much electronics on board that you have to be in depth.
Our program is geared to train students to get entry-level jobs in a collision repair shop doing just general collision repair. By going through the technical college, they get a little bit of all the areas, including the painting and framework and things like that. And it allows them to have a basic understanding of everything so that when they get into a shop, they are more value added to that shop.
There's a great place for you to find out more information about Wisconsin's transportation industry and how the foundation can help you get on your highway to the future. Just go to WATBA.org, click on the foundation, and we'll see you on your highway to the future.
Yeah, hi, Bob. So hopefully I gave you a little bit of a taste of what it might be like to work in the auto and truck industry. It's not just service careers either. There's lots of other opportunities, sales, finance, a lot of other opportunities in the auto and truck industry. But like I said, I work for the foundation. A big part of what we do is help students through scholarships get into training programs. We also do instructor trainings. We help schools with their ASC certifications, and we do a bunch of other stuff as well. What I'm really just going to talk about today is our scholarship program. And what we do, again, is provide money so that you can get your training paid for at a technical college in Wisconsin. And technical colleges offer one-year technical diploma programs in the auto and truck service industry. And they also offer two-year associate degree programs. We actually support, through scholarship money, students who want to become auto service techs, diesel service techs, collision repair techs, and motorcycle or power sport technicians. Maybe go on to the next slide, please. If you go to our website, which was on that first slide, which is if you just put in WATA on your browser, and then when you get to the WATA site, you can just go to the foundation link. You will see there that this flyer is available for you to look at, and everything you need to know is about applying for a scholarship is kind of on this flyer, but it kind of guides you through that process. Besides looking this over, you're going to have to do a number of different things. This is just a guide. So what we're going to have you do is we're going to have you go online and we're going to have you apply. We're going to have you turn in your high school transcripts. You will online fill out a technical skill evaluation. We also ask that you have somebody fill out an evaluation on you. It could be an instructor, a neighbor, it could be anybody you have a relationship. It could be a coach. We're going to have you fill that out or have them fill that out. And then after you turn all this information in by the deadline, which this year is November 5th, I'm sorry, not November, January 15th of 2021. If you get all that information in, we're going to put you into our system, and we will even actually assist you in getting into a dealership or help you assist you with employment, because we want you to not only be learning in school, we want you to be learning on a job at the same time. So by filling out this application, you're going to receive a lot of help from the foundation. Later on in early March, April, May, what we actually do is we actually do scholarship interviews of anybody who applied for a scholarship, and that interview will be conducted with 3 people and yourself if you've applied. And the people that will be there is a foundation representative, a technical college instructor, and someone from a dealership. And we just have a pretty low-key, relaxed conversation and get to know you a little bit, and it helps us to make our decisions as far as the scholarship money. Now, as far as the scholarship money, you can get up to $750 per semester for up to 4 semesters. And what we normally do is we supply scholarships to high school seniors who are about to enter technical school, and we also supply scholarships to first-year technical school students for their second year of schooling. If you could go to the slide after this one, please. One of the other things we do, and it's in partnership with Snap-on. We do supply tools through the scholarship, and the tools amount to about a $4,200 value. So most students who get the scholarship, and I say most, I'd say just about everybody, gets this tool set, and it's a great starter tool set for anybody who wants to work in the auto or truck service or diesel industry or collision repair. So there's another great opportunity if you have the interest, you have a passion for working on vehicles, and you fill out the scholarship applications and you are awarded a scholarship, you will also get a great tool set to go along with it. That's pretty much it. Like I said, everything is on our website. There's contact information on there. If you have questions, we always have people around that are willing and ready to help you. But anybody who is interested in this industry, this is a great opportunity to get your schooling paid for.
Thanks so much, Bill. That, is great information. And I will be grabbing the link from your website for the foundation and sending that to our tech ed teachers so that they can share that with their students as well. So if you're on and you didn't have a chance, although it's pretty easy and it's right on the bottom of the screen, WATDA/foundation.org, all the information will be there for you. So thank you so much for sharing that, Bill. And we are just at the top of the hour. So I want to thank all of our speakers for being with us today. And just a reminder that we will be looking at some of those post-secondary education options next week with FVTC in things like auto and diesel and supply chain. So join us next week for more information about those education options. And then I did send, along with the link for today, the link to the survey. We love to hear from you and get feedback on how we can improve these events. So please make sure that you go to the survey and give us your feedback. So one last time, I'm just going to stop the sharing and thank all of our speakers for joining us today and for the students and staff that popped in. And if you're going to be watching this on the recording afterwards, thanks so much for watching that. And we will see you next week with the education options. Have a great week.